live recording is back on. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jill, do you want to just summarise?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the board had an adjournment and sought some legal advice, and we discussed the grounds of the legal test, what would be relevant and what's not relevant for the board to consider, and just to confirm that no decision at all was made while we were adjourning. I'm happy to go through the grounds of the legal test if members would like.
Yes, I think that would be useful. Thank you.
Chair. So the legal test is found at Appendix 2, and the board may, having regard to the conviction and any recommendation contained in the Chief Constable's notice, and the board will obviously note that there's no recommendation made, and after giving the personal licence holder and the Chief Constable an opportunity to be heard. We've heard from the Chief Constable, we've not heard from the personal licence holder, but she was written to, so we've complied with our legal duty in relation to that. So if the board's satisfied that it's necessary to do so for the purposes of any of the licensing objectives, make one of the following orders. So that's an order revoking the license, an order suspending the license for such period not exceeding 6 months as the board considers appropriate, an order endorsing the license. The board can also decide to do nothing. And finally, the board, where the board are satisfied that having regard to the licensing objectives, the licence holder is not a fit and proper person to be the holder of a personal licence, the board must make an order revoking the licence. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. In that case, members, we can open the debate. Any indications? Mr. Crowson?
I'm ready to come in with a motion, if that's acceptable.
I'll just check with Mrs. Nicholl. If she still had a question or a point to make, I'll just come back to you, Mr. Crowson. Mrs. Nicholl?
No, I was going to come in with a motion as well.
Okay.
So I will let Mr. Crowson go first.
All right. And Mr. Goodall?
Ditto.
Okay. So Mr. Crowson.
After weighing up all the evidence, I believe that I would like to put forward a motion that we endorse the applicant's license with an endorsement.
Okay, thank you. Have we a seconder?
Chair, can I just perhaps just come in?
Yes, Jill.
Just as per the legal test, the board, in order to make one of the orders, the board's got to be satisfied that it's necessary to do so for the purposes of any of the licensing objectives. So it would just be to confirm the relevant licensing objective, please.
Okay. Which objective is that, Mr. Crowson? Is it the fit and proper person one or prevention of crime?
Sorry, Chair, the objective would be the preventing crime and disorder. The fit and proper one is a separate test.
The preventing crime and disorder.
Okay. Can I just go back a little bit here because the motions come in quite quick? Can I just ask members to confirm that you've received sufficient evidence upon which to make a decision? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Have we a seconder? Mrs. Nicholl?
Yeah, I'm happy to second that. I would also like the endorsement to go forward in the interests of licensing jet to preventing crime and disorder.
Okay, thank you. Is there a contrary view? No. In that case, Mr. Adams?
Yeah, I would like to raise it to an order of suspension of 6 months, again in prevention of crime and disorder.
Is there a seconder for that amendment? No, I'm not seeing a seconder. Mr. Maynard?
Yeah, sorry. I was going to second Councillor Stewart's motion amendment. Sorry.
So that's Mr. Maynard will second the amendment for a suspension for a period of up to 6 months from Mr. Adams. Okay. The seconder was Mrs. Nichol, Mr. Crowson. In that case, Jill, can we just rehearse the motion and amendment, please, before going to the vote?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, so the motion is with Mr. Crowson that the board are satisfied that it's necessary to make an order for the purpose of the licensing objectives. The order endorsing the license and the relevant licensing objective is preventing crime and disorder. And that was seconded by Mrs. Nichol. And the amendment is with Mr. Adams, seconded by Mr. Maynard, that the board is satisfied that it's necessary to make an order for the purpose of the licensing objectives for the objective of preventing crime and disorder, and the order is to suspend the license for a period of 6 months. So I'll just go through, and if members can say motion or amendment, please. So Mr. Stuart Adams.
Amendment.
Mrs. Dawn Black.
Motion.
Mr. Jeff Crowson.
Motion.
Mrs. Marion Ewanson.
Motion.
Mr. Jeff Goodall.
Motion.
Mr. Trevor Mason.
Motion.
Mr. Richard Maynard.
Amendment.
Mrs. Jenny Nichol.
Motion.
Thank you. So we've got 6 for the motion and 2 for the amendment. So the motion's carried, that the board are satisfied that having regard to the licensing objectives of preventing crime and disorder, that an order should be made endorsing the personal license. Thank you.
Thank you. So that is the decision confirmed that in this case, there is an endorsement to be made to the personal license. Okay, thank you. I can confirm that this hearing has now concluded. Thank you for your interest in this business. I will now ask you to leave the meeting, and that would be if the applicant were here. So we can progress on to the next item on the agenda. I'm just wondering if members want to take a very short break, even 5-10 minutes at this point, because it's well over an hour.
Yes, please.
Okay, so if I say back in at 10 to 12, 11:50.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
you.
you.